Welcome back to Trout Snacks. It's been a little while. I've been doing quite a bit of fishing and I've been catching them on the stonefly. I'll be tying for you today. Real simple, easy stonefly to tie. I have a size 12, actually a size 10 scud hook in there. I bent the barb on it. Makes it easier to take it out of the fish's mouth. And I have a 5/32 gold bead head on there, or 4mm. I'll be tying the underbody with this 140 denier ultra thread, which makes it to tie in that underbody a little quicker and a little faster because the thread is thicker. I'll cut that waste piece off, and then I'll tie in my wedge like I always tie. And I just wanted to show you can use a thicker thread to tie that in a little quicker instead of using the 70 denier. And you want your working thread length to be anywhere from 1 inch from your hook to your bodkin, or 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches, whatever you're more comfortable with. And you want to try and keep that space all the way around all the time. And the way you do that is you just adjust your bobbin, and you can I'll pull out a little bit, and you can control that by squeezing your bobbin with your hand, or you can just adjust your bobbin by bending the legs here tighter or looser to get that tension you would like to use. So I'll put it back to about 1 inch away, and I'm just using the pinch method with my hand to keep that nice even tension and the distance away from that hook. Now we'll tie that off with a 3-turn whip finish. With the 140 denier, you do a 2-turn or a 1-turn, it can come loose on you and just kind of go all over the place. Now I'll get my 70 denier, wine colored, and we'll tie it in. Cut out that little tag piece there. And we'll just clean up that wedge with our 70 denier. And this wine color, I really like it. Kelly Galloup kind of got me interested in using it, and it's been great. It's just been, I don't know, I just like the color, and just Kelly Galloup uses it quite a bit, and I can understand why. Okay, we'll just kind of clean up that wedge. Just kind of fatten up the back just a bit. Just taper it. Okay. And we'll just want to finish there, just a little behind where the barb used to be. Now I'll get my yellow UTC, yellow, I mean ice dub. And you only want to pull out maybe 12 strands of it. I mean, just real sparse. You don't need a lot. We'll get about 6 strands at first. Let's make a nice tight noodle, short noodle. About probably 3/4 of an inch, 1 inch long. And we'll tie in a nice tight ball in the back to give it some flash, but more importantly, it helps hold your tail in. Okay, that one a little wily on me. We'll clean that up here in just a second. Okay, let's pull some of that out. It's a little tight ball. Usually like it a little tighter than that, but it'll be fine. Now I'll grab my Goose Biot brown and get 2 pieces there. I'll kind of push them so they're 90 degrees from the stem to the fibers. Kind of line them up. I'll hold them tight. We'll just cut them off. I'm going to put the curves so they're back to back. Oh, I dropped one. Nice. We'll cut another one off here. I'll just break one off. We'll put the curves so they're back to back. So you get them so they're splayed. You put it between your fingers, you can kind of slide them back and forth to line them up. Now transfer it to my left hand. Pinch it so you can kind of get that splayed opening here. Put it on the shaft. I get my right hand. Pinch it. Use my left hand to push them so they're over the ball. I'll get my left hand again. Just pinch it. Pinch them tight. Then you want to do like a pinch wrap. Just light. 1, 2. And then kind of snug them up while you're keeping your left hand fingers tight. Now it stayed in place there, even though this part went all crazy. Your tail stayed nice and splayed open and right where you wanted it. And then I'll wrap back on that ball. Back towards that ball there. Make sure they just stay splayed. Well, went down in between the vise there. I'll pull it out. There we go. I'll keep them splayed out. I'm just going to clean up those tag pieces there. Trim them off. And then we'll just clean that up. Okay. I'm going to cut those little pieces there that are kind of bothering me. Fish probably don't care, but kind of, there we go. All right. I'll level my fly back out. I'll grab my gold wire. It just fell on the floor. There we go. Butterfingers today. So my 26 gauge gold wire. Leave about an inch or so to hold on to. Take your first wrap, pull it back to where it's tight against the Goose Biots. And then I'll leave a gap between wraps. Okay, we'll just do 5 turns. You can do 5 or 6. Now I'll grab my wine colored 26 gauge wire. Also found this at Joann's. I'll put that right there in front of the gold wire. And I'll put that right in between the gold wraps. There's number 5. Okay. Now these front wires, I'll pull them nice and tight, hanging onto the back. And I'll tie these ones in. I'll tie them in. I'll go over the 2 wires, one in front, do it 3 times. Just to show you can tie that wire in if you want to. I haven't had any issues with not tying them in like that, but you can do it if you would like. And I'll tighten that, keep it nice and snug. Okay, now I'll start with the inner piece on the back first. Again, just do your helicopter turns. Just be patient, it'll come off. Now, you can go the opposite way if you want, a couple times, and then sometimes it'll just pop right off. Now grab the back one. Now I'm going the opposite way a couple times, and I'll go back forward. It pops off. And I also found when you do tie it in, they are easier to break off. Now we'll helicopter the front pieces off. So that broke a little quicker, so it was tied off. There we go. Okay. That one tail keeps falling down in my vise. There we go. Now, I will grab my legs. You can use small rubber legs. I've been just using pheasant tail for the legs. And I'll turn my fly sideways so you can see how I do this. I'll lay it on the side. Just hold it with my finger if I can get it to cooperate. There we go. Let's go 1, 2 light turns. I'll turn it sideways again so you can see what I'm doing. I'll lay this on the side and just hold it with my finger. And then 1, 2. And you see how I tied it kind of in the center of the thorax? There's a reason for that, and I'll show you here in a second. I'll put my dubbing on. Okay, now let's go behind my legs. Snug your line a little bit. Now I'll get my natural hare's ear dubbing, and this is for the nymph hare's ear dubbing because it has the guard hairs in it, which you want. And you don't need to pull much out of there, see? Not much at all. And you want a tight dubbing noodle on there. In order to do that, you just pull little bits. It stays nice and tight. And about 2 inches long, 2.5 inches there. Okay, I'll turn my fly to the side so you can see what I'm doing. I'll grab that back leg, take my dubbing behind, take my dubbing behind that other back leg there, and then in front, so it holds the legs out. And then I'll do 2 or 3 over the legs. Then I'll pull that front leg back. I'll grab the other one here, pull that back. So it splays them out. Finish tying that dubbing off. Okay. Now, so you can see my collar already starting. It's just one turn. See, in just a couple of wraps, you've already got that nice thin collar in there. Now I'll grab my thin loons. I'll put a little on the thread. And if I always do a 3-whip finish. I don't know why. It's just the way I've always done it. Pull the front legs out of the way. 1, 2, 3. Now, when I tie in my whip finish, I'm not pulling really tight. I'm leaving it snug. And then I tighten up, and I pull my thread at the end there, it tightens everything up. Now we'll burn that in with our UV light. Okay, I'll turn it sideways so you can kind of see what I'm doing with the legs. I'll grab that front leg, pull it back towards the back there, about the length of where the tail kind of starts. Cut those off. Turn it this way so you can see what I'm doing again. Pull that front one back, right in about there. And then there you go. Another chunky awesomeness fly from Trout Snacks. Again, this fly's been working really good for me, and I'm sure it'll work good for you too. This thorax, when it gets wet, it darkens up, and this looks really good. Thanks for watching Trout Snacks.